And we will. And with that, I'll take any questions.
What do you attribute to that bad stuff? Do you think they were ready to play?
Yeah, ready to play. Obviously, they had a good return coming out, and then we got backed up there. I felt like the player was on the line, Tony. I was not sure how that didn't get overturned, and then we're backed up inside the one, which is a tough place to start in a game against a good football team.
Can you just assess how you think that Shedeur did? I know there were challenging conditions, offensive line problems, and all things like that.
Yeah, challenging. I mean, it's incomplete till I can look at it, obviously, but I know there's things that we can do better. I know there's things that he can do better. We'll look at it.
Kevin, the offensive line is just in such a state. How difficult is it to get any sort of evaluation on quarterback, offense, anything with the amount of, just the amount of injuries?
Yeah, I think you won't hear excuses from us in terms of who's in there, not in there, those type of things. We trust the guys that are in there. We go to battle with those guys. So we have expectations regardless of who's in there.
Early on, was there something wrong with Sanders' wristband?
Yeah, there was a miscommunication early.
I think they mentioned that you guys had the wrong plays in the wristband on the first two drives. Is that accurate?
No. Yeah. There was something. I don't know if the wristband got something on it or whatever it was, but there was we got that fixed pretty quickly.
And what about the interceptions? Obviously, the second one was not Shedeur's fault, but the other two looked like he just kind of made some poor decisions there.
Yeah, I'd rather look at it, Mary Kay, to give you a more informed answer. We know that team is good at taking the ball away, particularly intercepting the ball, so we'll learn from those.
And what about the one that did get ripped out of Jerry Judy's hands? I mean, what can you say about that?
Yeah, obviously we're trying to make a play there. In that moment, trying to get on the board, their guy made a good play.
And I know you have told us that Shedeur is the starter for the last 4 games this season. That still holds?
Yes.
Kevin, can you quantify just how difficult the cold made it to operate at times in this game?
Yeah, I think it was the same for both teams. I think we knew what it was going into it. We deal with those elements. Crowd noise is the advantage that the home team has in a game like this.
Can you explain just every week, we're asking about special teams, issues. Just why aren't those things getting corrected? It feels like
obviously we expect our guys to be able to go out there and perform in some of these situations, and we need to look at it and figure out ways to get guys on the ground and not have the ball coming out. That's obviously when you're playing in a game like this, you're playing a field position game, and we didn't put ourselves in a great spot early.
Kevin, the run game obviously was tough sledding out there, but it seemed like maybe early on was different. You guys seem to be, going leading more to the pass. Was the game plan to kind of come out throwing a little bit more, or is it kind of game situation?
Yeah, I'd say game flow, game situation, those type of things. But we have to get we all of us have to do a better job to get that run game going.
Overall, how would you assess the pass protection? Because it looked like they were kind of throwing some pressures, and there were some block pressures. But how would you kind of assess the play?
Yeah, again, hard to give you a good answer right this minute, but until I look at it. But they have a good pressure package. When you get in those pass downs, they do a good job with a lot of their looks, whether they bring guys or drop them, like you mentioned. So felt good about our plan. Obviously, we'll look at it.
Communication between Luke and Shedeur, did it hold up was it up to par?
Yeah, I don't think communication was an issue with Luke and Shedeur. They seem to be on the same page.
Kevin, Shedeur connected with Isaiah on a couple of big plays, but there was one play it looked like did maybe Isaiah not run like more on the inside? The one in completion, it just
I saw it.
Miscommunication.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it miscommunication. I don't know if he just didn't find the ball. I'm not sure.
Was said maybe not up for like a full game? Did he?
Yeah, obviously was cleared. Just got to practice that Friday, so just want to always be smart about guys that haven't practiced a ton in the week, but knew that he was available to us.
When you consider the offensive line, the hole, no David Njoku said, and all the different things that Shedeur had to deal with in this game, did he show you some things that have you thinking that?
Yeah, I'm obviously thinking about just this game and those type of things. He's a young player that is making progress, like we've talked about all week, and I see it in games. I get to see it in practice. There's going to be ups and downs to young players, in particular quarterback position. So we'll learn from it, and we'll be better next week.
Getting them 2 scores early and then 3 in the third, did it drastically change what they were able to do on defense, or kind of limited you guys on offense?
I would give them credit. Obviously, they did a great job, but we have to execute better in some areas.
You talk about the ups and downs, and obviously that's the best takeaway defense in the NFL. Do you talk to Sanders about just 364 yards last week, turnovers this week, that up and down?
Particularly to their takeaways, you're saying?
Yeah, just the ups and downs, like you said.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, sure. You talk to your quarterback a lot about the opponent you're facing, what they're good at, things that they're going to try to take away. But at the end of the day, you just have to focus on your development in each one of these games. And he's fighting like crazy to try to help us win. Obviously, we came up short. All of us, we came up short. So you learn from it and you apply those lessons in the future.
It seems like they moved Caleb Williams around and moved the pocket to try and neutralize your pass rush. What did you think of what they would do there, and what kind of pressure does Caleb put on a defense when he's out of the pocket? Yeah,
well, we knew all week going into this one that he's as elusive as anybody is in the league. Obviously, they have designed plays for him to get outside the pocket. And then he has ways to off structure get outside the pocket. The touchdown pass that he made, running out of bounds is a really high level play for a quarterback. But they do a nice job in their design on some of those keepers and the play actions. And then obviously he just has that ability to extend plays.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
That defense is known for their ability to take the ball away. Like, what did you see out there with the interceptions, and which ones would you think what plays would you maybe like to have back, I guess?
I would like to have majority of plays back for sure. They did a good job in doing what the coach is doing. Shout out to their defense coordinator team. They did a lot of great stuff.
What was it like for you? I mean, you played at Colorado, so I mean, you played at a bunch of bowl games. Like, what was it like playing in those conditions? Like, what were the difficulties, and what did you feel like? How did you feel like you did in those conditions?
Yeah, the condition's not really a big factor because thankfully to our staff, we got everything to keep us warm, so everything was smooth.
Isaiah Bond made a couple of nice plays. What did you think his performance here? Are you gaining sort of confidence?
Yeah. We just got to use Isaiah more, for his skill set, for what he's great at, and just keep evolving him overall as a player. And I'm thankful to have him. Thankful to be able to spend time with him.
Where would you? I mean, you've asked similar questions like this throughout your career, but how would you evaluate kind of where you are right now? As an NFL quarterback compared to the beginning of the season, where do you feel like your progress has been, and where do you feel like you still want to go?
I think in every situation, it's always going to be things that you want to work on, things that you want to get better. So I think that's where I'm headed. I'm in the learning and understanding phase, of this game and how things are.
Shedeur, you knew this was a tough defense in terms of takeaways coming in. Mm-hmm. What do you think they did to break the pressure and get to the 3 interceptions?
They just had a great defensive scheme, and I enjoyed playing against them. I enjoyed playing in that because it was definitely a little challenge. So I look forward to learning from that and look forward to understanding exactly, how things was on film and just be able to learn from it.
Pass to Judy was right on the money, and it ends up being intercepted. How disappointing and frustrating was that?
Nah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So, it is what it is. I'm not one to ever kick somebody down when he's down. He understands that's a big play, and I'm sure he's hard on himself. So it's no need for me to be extra and do that.
What on TV they mentioned that something happened with your wristband after the first 2 drives.
Oh no, the card just fell out. Yeah, it just fell out on the sideline. Yeah, that was it.
Shedeur, this is just your 4th start, but to have the ups and downs of having 4 touchdowns last week and 3 picks, how can you handle that and kind of process and move on?
Well, yeah, I'm the same person, regardless. So I still got the same belief, in myself, and I definitely, like it is every week. You got to get out there, learn from it, play better, and that's it.
Shedeur, the first half didn't go your way, but you guys were in it. Just kind of what was the mindset going into the second half of trying to get some consistency and some.
Yeah, really. Going into the second half, it was really get things going, and get rolling on offense.
Shedeur, you were able to connect on a couple of those long balls to Isaiah. Just how much are you sort of, you talk about time on task, and how much are you sort of starting to find that connection with him, and how much can that be something to build off of?
No, every rep, everything is something to build off of. It's something that you have to continue to work at and learn and be able to understand. With each game, understand the different speeds, understand, talk to them about we got to play a little faster right here, So it's just a lot of different variables you have to go into each game with, So you got to learn from them.
Is it hard to?
Nah.
If you already answered this, you don't have to answer it again. But
it was just hard for us to get in the rhythm. That's all it was.
How would you just assess or sum up your own game? How did you feel about the way that you played today?
Oh, we got a loss, so I didn't do good. So that's what sums it up.
When you got into when the offense got to those third and long situations, just what were the Bears kind of showing you on the field that maybe giving you guys some trouble to execute?
Everything they showed on film, we just failed to execute. That's it. That's on me. I got to be able to get us, in the right situations and get the ball out of my hand.
You made it hard to answer. What happened with
Oh yeah, she asked. Yeah, it just fell out.
You've played in cold weather games before. What ways does that impact you on the field?
I spent 2 years in Colorado, and it gets pretty cold in Mississippi at the back end of the year, so it's the same.
What did you learn most from this game each week? I know you're picking up new things, learning things. What was your takeaway from this game?
Biggest takeaway from the game? Well, I gotta decompress, and understand, everything that just transpired for real. So I just showered. I just did everything I could to get ready to come in here. And then I'll be able to watch it and be able to understand. But it's a lot of different things you could think and everything. But the main thing is, being impressed, chill, and be able to learn from it,
Sure, if you've answered this already, but the offensive line, I mean, just so many relatively new faces. I mean, Garrett has to come in, and for Devin, it's just as a quarterback playing behind so many guys kind of rotating in and up front. How
that's nothing you could control. You can't look at that. You can't focus on that. That's an uncontrollable thing. And I'm sure everybody that went in and out, I'm sure they didn't want to be hurt. So that's a part of life.
Shedeur, Kevin said he's sticking with you after the game, even though, we knew you were going to finish out the season, but, he just kind of reiterated that, you get to keep going and kind of put this one behind you. How does it feel to know that you are going to be able to go out there and do this again?
Yeah, well, he said that kind of last week, so I don't know.
Does that help that you're not worried about losing your job or anything like that when he says something like that?
What league we in? Yeah, you can lose your job at any point in time. So you don't play with fear. When you live and play in fear, then you'll never be yourself. So I don't play or live in fear. Whatever situation I'm in. Whatever happens, it happens. But I live each moment and try to live each day to the fullest. So never live in worry or fear.
The biggest problem with the running game just being down 14-0 right from the start, or the changes on the offensive line that you can't control. What affected the running game more? Do you think?
I'm not sure. Yeah, honestly, I don't know how to answer that. I'm not sure. I think overall, I just gotta get us out that situation. Then now open up the run. Appreciate y'all.
I'll be
It looked like at one point there in the second half, you were kind of pointing to your thigh, and I mean, just take a shot there. I mean, it seemed like it was hurting, but it wasn't. You were going to play through it.
That's how I always am. I'm gonna play through pretty much anything. But yeah, I tweaked my hip or something in that area, so I was feeling that for the rest of the game. But like I said, I'm just gonna continue to push through because we still got something to play for. There's, as long as there's games on the schedule, I'm gonna go out there and try to win.
Was that on your right side or left side? The hip.
Left. Don't be sharing this info with the enemy.
What were your impressions of Caleb Williams and kind of what they did to move him around to kind of negate your guys' pass rush in terms of moving the pocket?
Well, I think we rushed pretty well for the most part, but he's elusive. He got out of a couple. They held up. They protected with 6 or 7 sometimes, but they also have some really good guys on that O-line. And rolling the pocket definitely helps. He's able to use his feet and still be quite accurate. And now they use that to their advantage on, I believe, a couple of scoring plays where he was on the move and he found someone just with time. You give a guy like that time and receivers, the option to, kind of like freestyle, back there, and they're going to eventually get open. So we have to continue to try to pull him up and keep him contained. And we did that for the most part, but he definitely made plays, and he's a playmaker.
What about the fact that you inched closer to the record? Is it nice to know that it's in sight? And
it's always been in sight.
Myles, more than half, or at least half your sacks this season have come on third down. You had another one. Both one and a half today were on third down. Just when you see that, it just how much does that talk about elevating your game in the big in the key downs, that money down, third down.
Playmakers make plays. In big time moments, you gotta have your big time players and go out there and shine. And it makes it easier when you have great coaches and hell of a coordinator who's calling those kind of plays and allowing me to get freed up or at least dealing with less of a chip or holding the QB to at least one pump and then looking around for a second option. So shout out to them, but also the guys next to me. They make it a lot easier as well.
You mentioned something still to play for. There's a lot of young guys in that locker room. When they see you, with that mindset and see that's the standard that the best players in the game have, how important is that setting the tone for those guys who are still just sort of, in the very early stages of their own careers?
Yeah, you got to build a stable foundation with the young guys, showing them that no matter what the record is, what the score is, you got to come out and be yourself. It didn't happen today, but teams would come back from worse. There are moments in which you started slow and maybe they've gotten us for 2 or 3 quarters, but as long as there's still time on the clock, dig deep and go and find it. And you can say that for the season and for life. Don't shy away from obstacles or struggle. It's going to be there. It's really the test of a man and who you are when those come.
Myles, did you guys make any adjustments after their hot start, or do you just think you made more plays over the next quarter and a half or so?
A bit of both. They're running the ball well, and of course, the offense has their first 15, and how to attack us the best they can. They have some success, but once you get down to the bare bones of it, we're a hard front to deal with, and wish we would have started a little bit quicker. Wish we would have seen through some of the things that we're doing and executed and had a little bit better eyes. But that's a good team over there. They've got good coaches and good coordinators as well, and it's just tough. Got to start a little bit quicker.
What's your 3 games left? So what's your message to these guys in terms of trying to finish strong?
You take it one game at a time. You don't look at the record. Look at the man beside you. You know, it could be his last game. It could be his last game in the NFL, his last game here. It could be your last game. Don't go out with a whimper. Don't go gently into the night. You keep on fighting, and you want to be remembered for your very last play, your very last game, and you want to go out on the best note possible, because that's your legacy. You know, with your team, with your family, and for you personally, when you lay your head down at night, you want to be proud of something. So go make yourself proud. Go make your family proud. Go make your team proud.
Thanks, Myles.